Hello, welcome to Wendy's Colouring, and yeah, end of the month videos finally. It's been a long month, but it feels like a short month, if you know what I mean. Been a busy month, busy month, I think, really. Yeah, so got a few done this month. Never as many as I'd like, but you know, gotta go to work, haven't you? So sadly, it does spoil your hobby time. So I did start the month in this book, Wonderful Little World 3 Hobbies by Collier. They very kindly sent me this one. So I did start the month by starting to do a page in here, which now I can't find. Oh yeah, there it is. Might have been a good idea to tag these, but I stupidly haven't. Just piled them up and left them there. So this page, yeah, I did really enjoy this page. Used a few different bits and pieces on it, but obviously this paper is pretty good, so you can get away with quite a lot of different stuff on it. So started with some, I think I did video a bit where I had started this page, didn't I? I'd started with some Spectrum Noir brush markers to do some of the base. I don't know, can you see where I've done with the base? Yeah, you can kind of just about see what I've done. So I've based the flowers, the teapot, a bit of the grass underneath here, pretty much with the alcohol markers. And then I've used my Collier pencils on this and mixed them in with my Artex pencils just for shades. I think it's just really the some lighter, softer tones that I was missing, that I was pinching from the Artex as I was working with them. They've worked really well on this paper. They seem to suit each other quite nicely. And not much else really. A little bit of Signo sparkling gold. Not a huge amount, but I think there's a little bit in the teapot. Can maybe just about make up out of it. But yeah, I just enjoyed it. I like doing flowers anyway. Teapots I love. So yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I do find like big acres of grass like this a little bit tricky to do sometimes, but you've got a few bits and pieces of things standing there in the grass, so it kind of does break it up a little bit. But yeah, I quite enjoyed this first little page out of this book, so no doubt another one will be coming along fairly soon after it. But yeah, that was my first page done in March out of Collier, Wonderful Little World, Volume 3, Hobbies. It's a bit of a mouthful, that title, isn't it? Let's get rid of that one. Then one that I've been working in, I think I've done January and February, in Mystery Island, Cocowayo. And I've been quite enjoying this little book. I've stupidly not marked the page. Oh, it's that one. It's just popped itself open just to make life easy. So yeah, I did another one of the little axolotl pages. I'm really enjoying the little faces of these. So this is Holbeins that I've been working in this book, pretty much all in Holbeins. Bit of my usual Artex paint pens, some Pitt pen black, just for in the black background, because obviously these have their black backgrounds anyway. But yeah, I just wanted them completely black because they're always a bit grey looking, aren't they, the backgrounds, and I kind of felt like I wanted the black to be jet black, and I think I might have put a little eyelashes on with the pen as well. But yeah, quite again, another page I've really just enjoyed working. It's just pure colour pencil work in the main. I just enjoy working these little pages. They don't take ages. I'm still loving this little 8x8 size. Oh look, I've gone out the lines there. That's not very like me. What was I thinking? No idea. Anyway, but yeah, I'm still liking these little 8x8 books. They're quite fun. They don't take too long. And this one in particular has some really nice little characters in it. So, excuse the glare. Mystery Island, Cocowayo. Another little fun book that I'm enjoying working through. Now, I've been trying to consciously work in a few more books that are maybe a little bit unused by me. And this is one that I've had. I think I've had this. It was certainly before Christmas, wasn't it? Maybe November, did I get this? Christy Vogel's, I don't know, whatever it's called. But yeah, so far I hadn't worked in it. So it's one of the top books. Paper's always pretty good in these. So I thought, yeah, it's about time I actually got a page done out of this book. So I did this page, which I'm and ahhing about. I did this in my Derwent Coloursoft and Chromaflows, and I think I'm of the opinion that overall I don't love the greens in those sets. They kind of feel a little bit unnatural, don't they? And now when I'm looking at it, even now, they kind of feel a bit glary greens as opposed to soft. Not sure I'm making a lot of sense, but yeah, I don't love the greens. I think the brights colours for the butterfly and the clothing I like, but the greens I really found tricky to work with. I felt like I was missing colours, if you know what I mean. I did also use my Brut Funer macaroons with this, because again, those two mixes of Coloursoft and Chroma Flows, they don't have a huge amount of pastels, and I'm used to using pastels and I was missing them a little bit, so I've actually put all those three together in a colour pencil now. So Coloursoft, Chroma Flow and the macaroons kind of make a good set for me that I can see I can work with. Other things, my usual Artex paint pens and a little bit of blender pen, I think, for this kind of blue sky. Just used, yeah, my usual Derwent blender pen, just to soften the lines out of them, because they are all a bit waxy, those pencils, and it leaves you with a bit of mark making, which I don't particularly love. So yeah, it's the first page done in this. I'm not sure whether I'll use those pencils in this book again, just because obviously it's quite nature inspired. There's nature on all the pages, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just not getting along with the greens. Maybe I need to use them more. Maybe it comes down to something as simple as that. But at least I've done a first page in Christy Vogel's whatever that is. Sorry, I do apologise. Then another new book to me, but obviously not a new book. Let me take us out just a smidge. Is Mouse Guard by David Peterson. Yeah, I really had to make myself work in this book, because obviously it's beautiful. You can see I've worked in it, because look, I've got mess all down the front of it already, like an idiot. Paper is beautiful in this book, but yeah, the first page that was shouting to me, it kept opening on this page anyway, so it had to be done. Couldn't do anything else. Where have I put my little list? I thought I'd put a little list. Now I've lost it. What have I done with it? No, I can't remember what I've used on it either, so that's not good. Where is my little list gone? I definitely did a little list for this book. My list has gone walkabout. I know I definitely used Renaissance is Christmas Advent, the 2022 version for the metallics that's on here, because it's got that lovely colour shift. To my eye, it's kind of green in some lights, and I think it mainly looks gold for you on the camera, but to me, when I'm looking at it from this angle, it looks totally green. What did I use for these? I think I did use watercolour pencils, because I thought I'm interested to see on how well this particular paper works with it. So I have a feeling I used my combination of Albert Dürer and the Caran d'Ache Museum aquarelles that I have, and then kind of worked over them dry over the top, is what I think I did. I had a bit of a disaster with this background that you may be able to tell. I think I did paint it, and then I hated the background, so then I think I worked my luminance over the top of it, so it's kind of given this kind of old woody effect, which I'm living with. It could have been a worse disaster. Yeah, I hated the paint when I did it, but it did leave kind of brush texture, so it kind of worked with the pencil when I put over it. I suppose stone would have been a better look to go for, but I went with kind of woody feel to it, and yeah, I'm quite pleased. The watercolour worked well in this, and it's not really warped the page. I can kind of feel where the wet bits were, but not enough that I think it's going to cause me a problem when I choose to work on the page behind these. So I will probably still continue to use wet media in form of pencil form, at least, in this book. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I didn't use any, surprisingly for me, any paint markers on this page this time, because it's supposed to be a stained glass window. Obviously the black lines in it are an important part of it, aren't they? So yeah, I just kept it as it was. No getting rid of any of those, which was hard to make myself do, but that's the whole point of this page, isn't it? So I'm quite pleased. It was a soft break-in for some of these. I don't think I'll be braving this page on the back just yet, but I still quite enjoyed working in it. So Mouse Guard colouring book by David Peterson. Yeah, broke it in. Look, I've made a right mess of it already. As soon as I put it on my desk, it seems to get filthy. I don't get it. I clearly get pencil shavings everywhere, and then they just print onto my books. Then I did a first in Fairy Tales by Tomoko Tashiro. This was a buddy colour with Michelle Lewis from Instagram. I'm going to tag her below in the description if you want to have a better look at hers, because hers is beautiful. I will add hers in now. She's done such a beautiful job of her page, really inspiring. Love her colour palette, lovely bright vivid colours. Yeah, pleasure. And obviously she made me work in a book that I've been chickening out of. I have 2 of these Tomoko books. This one I've got fairly recently, but I've also got the clothing book. So yeah, it was quite good that she'd kind of pushed me into having a go at this page. Let's find mine. So we did, yeah, this page, obviously, because you've just seen hers. So, I'd kind of kept to this kind of yellow, brown, orange palette. I don't know why, it just kind of felt like, I suppose because it's got the pumpkins, I kind of just went with that palette as we went. So mine is in Luminance and Holbein, and as you can see, there is quite a bit of Renaissance paint. The Christmas Advent, it's Cheer and Joy if you want to buy them individually. That's the 2 that I've used in this kind of scrolly border that goes all the way through the page. Artix paint pens, pencil dual hybrid. I think it's a little bit in the dots in a skirt. You can just see a little bit there. It's the gold one. And then, yeah, this has a lot, as you can see in this background of this side that I've not done. It has a lot of these kind of little circly things. And I'm like, they're not a flower, they're not a thing, they're just patterny. And they were driving me nuts a little bit. So I've got to be honest, for a change, I never really do this, but they were just driving me nuts. So I did kind of just ink over them with one of my Do Craft Whisper Strokes water-based markers. They're kind of like cheap Tombos, I think would be my description. And I was a little bit worried that they might go through, and they have a little bit, as you can see. But this is a very patterny, simple page on the background anyway. So I'm kind of like, am I ever going to colour that? I'm probably not, am I? So I'm not going to worry about it too much. And I kind of felt, once I'd kind of shaded them dark, this dark green, yeah, I kind of felt a bit more comfortable with approaching the rest of the page, really, because there's just so many little spirals and circles and other bits and pieces on this page that, yeah, just honestly, it kind of made me feel uncomfortable about working the page. And when I'd knocked those back a little bit, it felt much more achievable to work on, because this is a beautiful book. It has some amazing pages in it. This obviously is the other matching side. I wasn't up for trying to do the matching side. These borders take so long just by itself, and all of these little individual tiny bits. But yeah, I'll probably do the same when I'm approaching other pages in this book. I think is kind of just ink back some of the bits that are a little bit too much to deal with. But I loved working on the people. They were relatively quick in comparison to the border. I kind of wish the borders were a little bit more simple in this book, but it's a cracking little book. There's some great pages in it. It was really good to get a first page done. I don't think I'd have pushed myself to do it had Michelle not wanted to do one. So thank you very much to Michelle. Nip over and see all her lovely colourings on her Instagram. Like I say, I'll try and link her below, or at least put her Instagram addy in below, even if I can't make it link. Highly likely. Linking, not great at it. So another great first. How many have I done so far? I think there's 3 already in uncoloured books there, and this was another one this month. I think it's The Room I Adore, isn't it? And this has been in my colouring pile for quite a few months now, and this month I was determined to do something, even if it was just something simple. So I did do something simple, which is unusual for me, really. I normally kind of do more involved pages, but I thought, you know what, I want to see what the paper's like. I just want to have a go at it, try something. I love the drawing in this book. It's not overly complicated, but there's just enough there to make it an interesting colour. So yeah, I just did, this is little like creative room that she's obviously got. She does a little painting in it, and then you've got this kind of detail page on the other side. My usual mix of luminance and Holbein in the main for the bits and pieces in the cup, and a little bit on the paint tubes at the bottom. I've used Renaissance Tea Collection metallic paints, which also were a new in for me last month. I get just on the paints tubes in the labels and a little bit on the cup. So they're not the kind of crazy foily Christmas ones. They're just a little bit more subtle, and I kind of felt that that went a little bit better with this page. That they've give a nice little glittery sheen, but they're not kind of overpowering in the way that they had the colours. The paint in the backgrounds are Royal Talens Amsterdam acrylic paints. I do like those because, as you can see, they have quite a matte finish, so they don't kind of take over your page, and you can add a little bit of coloured pencil over the top. Obviously you'll get a little bit of texture, it'll eat your pencils quite a bit, but if you want to, you can always work over them a little bit. Add a little bit of usual Artex paint pens into this little page. So yeah, just it's a simple page, isn't it? But I quite enjoyed it. Sometimes it's nice to do something that's just a little bit simpler, and easy win's the wrong word because I've still quite a lot of backgrounds on this page. I kind of felt like I should put something in the background, but yeah, chicken out. And yeah, just enjoyed this page. It was a bit of fun, wasn't too difficult, but my first page in the room that I admire, something like that. What an idiot. I should translate it properly. Then I had this little Mickey Tacky postcard book. It was also an in last month, and obviously we are approaching Easter, so it seems ridiculous not to do one in this book, because if I don't do one now, when in the year am I going to do it? And again, sorry, for some bizarre reason I have not marked these pages this month. So I did this little one, and I kind of felt I'm not going to do it exactly the same as the coloured one, so I've done the colours a little bit more vivid, I think. So this is Prismacolors. Don't use my Prismas a huge amount, as you probably noticed, but yeah, just occasionally. I thought, because these were postcard paper, I thought maybe something that'll work on that texture a little bit better would be a good idea. Artex paint markers as per, and a little bit Posca, probably white, I would imagine. But yeah, quite enjoyed it. Fun little background. Oh, I did try a bit of watercolour, I think, in the background, and then I didn't like it, so I've worked over with the Posca, which is what you can, why the background looks a little bit on the ropey side. But I quite like the little cute birdies down here. Thought they were cute, they were fun to work. But yeah, it was it's another little quick, easy page. Might try and get another little Easter page in done, because there's lots of really cute little pages in this book. I realise they're all sideways. I'm flipping them. But yeah, first little page done in my Mickey Tacky postcard book. I have no idea what this is called, but it looks Eastery, rabbity, something along those lines. But it was an Amazon Japan purchase. Then I also got this one. When I bought that same rabbit book, let me see what it's called. Ooh, The Cat General Store and Magic Key. And yeah, I wanted to make a start in this because I've got the other two and I keep swerving working in them. So I thought, no, you're not buying another one and not working in it. So I did this little page. I particularly wanted to do Postman Donkey Polka, so it had to be this page. This one is pretty much all museum aquarelles because I wanted to see how it would take the watercolour. Did wrinkle a little bit, but it's not too badly. I think I could still work that page, no problem. Didn't go through, so that was a breather sigh of relief. So I did wet them in the little characters, and in some of the signs I think I did wet them. The rest of it was worked dry with them. But yeah, just this intro page showing the little creatures. Thought I'll have a play with these. No great shakes of a page, but I quite enjoyed it. I'm not going to feel the need that I have to keep them the same, even though I've done this as an intro page. If I want to do Mr. Donkey purple next time, well, so be it. I'm okay with that. I know some people like to do this page to set their colours up, and so they keep him the same as you work through the book, but yeah, I'm not. I did the Longtail Tit Brothers as little blue tits. I don't know if they're supposed to be. That's how I felt like doing them, so that's how I did them. Blanca, I did her just very similar colours. Do you know? Can't really say much about it, can I? But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Used a little bit of Pentel in the lettering, as you can just about see. some of the time. But yeah, first page done in... Why can I never remember the title of this book? The Cat General Store and Magic Key by Mocha. It's a cute little book. Again, Amazon Japan purchase. But yeah, enjoyed working in that. Didn't make it too much of a meal out of it. And then finally this month, obviously had to have a little bit of R.J. Hampson. I can see I've still got a bit of scrappy paper in behind. Let's get rid of that before we start. So yeah, R.J. Hampson Frogtail. I did one of these last month, and yes, I thought I would do another one this month because I just enjoy his drawing. So I did, what's it called? Royal Audience, where Miss Frogtail is visiting clearly the King and Queen of Frogs and the frog children down here. And again, yeah, just enjoyed it. My usual stuff. Lewis Holbein. Background was a Decotime twin marker. Just because it's a bit quicker really to get a bit of a background on. Artix paint pen. Signo sparkling gold, silver, pink and violet. Mainly in the little jewellery bits and pieces. And then a bit of a blender pen just on some of the grey at the bottom. But yeah, it was a fun little colour. I enjoyed working on it. I don't think I like it as much as the first page in here. But it was still a fun job. Still prefer that one. But, you know, you can't have a masterpiece every month, can you? Some have to be a bit of a disaster. But, well, not a disaster, but you know what I mean. Not a favourite. But I still, yeah, enjoyed it. And that was my last one this month. I've whizzed through them quite quickly, haven't I? Not really detailed, heavily... long working pages this month purely because I haven't had time. It's just been a very busy month, but yeah, still pleased I've got quite a few pages done. There's quite a few uncoloured books in that pile, and I'm quite pleased to be ticking some of those off because I have too many of those that I've not touched. Beautiful books, but they just don't end up on my desk, so it was nice to see a few of those. And I think it's a bit of a learning curve, isn't it, when you've got books you've not worked in and you're not used to the paper and you're not used to the style of the drawing. It's quite nice to challenge yourself to try and do a few different things. So that was all my March colouring. Hope there was something that you were interested in and enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're enjoying your colouring this month. I look forward to seeing what you've all done. Bye bye.